What's up, Benfica Nation? Welcome to another pre-match show here on Mr. Benfica exclusively on the video platforms. Hello to everyone watching at MrBenfica.com on the Mr. Benfica YouTube channel and anybody watching on Twitter via Periscope. Okay, how is everybody doing? There is a lot to talk about today. The starting 11 is already down there at the bottom of your screen. Okay, I'll go over that in a moment. I've got BTV up right here. I'm not happy with BTV today, and it's things you would expect from BTV because of who runs BTV and who is in charge. But I cannot get into this match, and I know people come here for the football. But if I do not address the situation going on outside the stadium, going on around the area, because my friends, Benfica Nation has spoken up and Vieira has fought back. Okay. Earlier today, police removed Benfica supporters away from the Stadio de Luz, away from the area, as if to say that there is nothing going on, that there is nothing against this president who has absolutely done nothing but shame us this week. This man is a disgrace. He's a disgrace to football. He's a disgrace to this right here. Okay, he is a disgrace. You saw him all week, testifying. If you want to, just go to Google and search Luis Felipe Vieira and put in latest videos. You can watch all 4 hours of him telling all of this new information or some of this new information that we didn't know yet about him. Okay, now we know he ascended to the presidency by way of his influence with banks. Okay, this is a man that does not love our club. This is the man that does not have Benfica in his heart or in his blood. He doesn't care about sports. The entire club is in shambles. It is not just on the football pitch. It is on the track. It is on the hardwood. It is on the hockey court. It is in futsal. It is in swimming. It is everywhere. Okay. And right now, he is silencing. Right now, as I speak, he is silencing. So before we get into the match, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Twitter real quick because some of you have hit me up and asked what's going on, and I'm really not going to say anything that's not out there yet. Okay? I'm going to bring up Twitter for you with the hashtag Rua Vieira, and let's see right here. And right here, you can see a ditadura vai acabar, Vieira na prisão. That means the dictatorship will end. Vieira to prison. And that's a reply to the club itself directly because the club decided to everything the club posts today essentially is going to do that. So let's go back into the hashtag here. You see it's already saved. It's Rua Vieira. And let's look at the latest. And here you see that right there. Arranca Salgueiro Maia. Ainda falta ditador. Rise up, Salgueiro Maia, one of Portugal's revolutionaries. There is still one dictator. Hashtag Abdicta Vieira. Hashtag Rua Vieira. Okay. Here are some more fans. You can't see this on BTV, my friends. You will not see this on BTV. Okay. They are acting like nothing is going on. These people have been pushed away. There was a police force you would think was ready for the reception of the Queen of England or something like that to the stadium today. The type of police force that Vieira and his cronies arranged to be at the stadium today. Okay, we're going to go down. Here it is right there. Guarda de honra o Vieira, só se for na carregueira. All right, listen, you can get the gist. A guard of honor for Vieira? I don't think so. People want this man out of the club. Listen, I have no problem coming to this platform today and saying that election in October was a sham. There is no way 2/3 of the supporters of this club support this man. Here you see nothing to see. The club is going to show you everything is good, and there's some good retorts to that. Here's the same image. Let's see if I can find the video. Look at this. This is outside the stadium. This is a little bit away, and it is right there. Benfica versus Vieira. That is where we stand today, guys. This is about a lot more than just a football match. Okay, this is about control of our club. We have seen fans rise up around Europe recently. Perhaps we're a bit inspired by the supporters of Manchester United and Chelsea. Telling their clubs what they think. Here's some more footage. Okay, this is stuff BTV will not show you. So here is some more. You can see there is plenty of discontent. Maior de Portugal, Viva o Benfica. the biggest of Portugal. Long live Benfica. Okay, and as you know, he is supposedly going to be at the match today, so we'll see. We now know where he's been all this time. The man has been answering questions about his businesses and about very sketchy, corrupt things going on in his businesses. I'm not going to get into the details. I want to thank my good friend Mario Mata of Benfica After 90. Been talking to him a lot in the last 24 hours, making sense of everything that's going on. He's doing a lot of the legal translation and a lot of that for me because I'll be honest, a lot of legal jargon is over my head when it's in English, much less in Portuguese. But let's get to what everyone's here for. The football match that is at hand, okay? The match begins in about 24 minutes, and I'm going to pull up the comments now and see what you guys got going on. Yes, I'm going to show these comments for you from the fans. There you see Grimes, OOD. He is an absolute disgrace. Greg says, Rua Vieira with the Euro emblem in there. And we've got Grimes again. Vieira will get what he deserves, hopefully. I hope so. Thank you, everybody watching. Thank you for those of you that participate. Let's get to football now, okay? I had to say that. I had to be responsible because the other forces will not bring information to people, okay? They're trying to play it off like everything is cool. You see in the bottom there, so that the starting 11 will start with Benfica. It's Elton, Leite, Otamendi, Vertonghen, Lucas Verissimo, and then Diogo Gonçalves and Grimaldo are the outside wingbacks. Pizzi, Weigl, and Tarap is in for Rafa today, who is presumably injured. Everton and the Swiss Army knife, Haris Seferovic. Let's go here and let's look here. And we got Sporting's 11 as well. Courtesy of Abola, it is Adan in goal, Gonçalo Inácio Coates and Mateus Reis, João Pereira and Mateus Nunes, Daniel Bragança, Nuno Mendes, Paulinho, and that traitor, Nuno Santos. Let's talk about him for a moment so I can get that out of the way. That ungrateful, classless little you know what has the nerve. He can't just celebrate his championship and his accomplishment. He has to show a scarf saying graças a Deus não sou lampião. Thank God I'm not lampião. Lampião is the name of us. We are the lampiões, okay? You can translate it in Google Translator if you want to know the direct translation. It doesn't matter. That's the name they have for us. Like hell, he is not. Okay, the man came up through our system. You do not see Nicolas Otamendi doing things like that. Okay, Nicolas Otamendi came to our club and has been focused on our club. The only thing he said about his old club was about what happened on the pitch last week. That is how a professional conducts himself. So I was in favor of a guard of honor before that. Okay, I was going to say that today, that I was going to hope that we did a guard of honor because I thought Sporting deserved to be champions. I still think they deserve to be champions. Obviously, this doesn't change that. They've been the best team on the pitch. They have the best team chemistry. They have not lost a match, which I hope changes today. But I thought the guard of honor would have been a nice touch. I would never, ever support a guard of honor for Porto. Never in a million years. For everything that has happened, I will never support that. But for Sporting, even though I guess my memory was a little clouded, I've been reminded of some things. And maybe that started to push me in the other direction. And now, you know, that behavior, if you will, that example, yeah, you don't get a guard of honor. You know what? You don't get that. And Nuno Santos can go you know where. And so no guard of honor. I believe the club already said it would not happen. So that's out of the way. Let's talk about the match. Okay. Both teams are going to be playing a 3-5-2. This is going to be interesting, okay? And I'm going to pull up the substitutes list because I am very interested in who it is. So I'm going to read off the substitutes for you for Benfica because I haven't even looked at this yet. We got Chiquinho, Darwin, Waldschmidt, Gabriel, Gonçalo Ramos is back on the bench, which is a good thing. Pedrinho, Rafa's on the bench, so he was not fit enough to go from the start, but presumably he will probably come in if he's on the bench. Nuno Tavares and Odysseus. Sporting has Jovan Cabral, Antunes, Dario Isugu, Gonçalo Plata, João Mário, João Palhinha, maybe he's serving his suspension today. Maybe that's why he's on the bench. They're going to say he's serving his suspension. And Eduardo Quaresma and Neto, the backup keeper. In addition to that, is Luis Maximiliano. So there's the teams. Okay, we're going to play with 3-5-2 against a 3-5-2, essentially. I expect a football match today, much more than I said in the previous, live show, much more than in the last, in the Clásico with Porto. I expected something different. This one, I am expecting Sporting to be looking to play football. I think Benfica is going to look to play more football this time as well. I don't expect the same physical nature of the match. Hopefully, the match is not ruined with early yellow cards again for soft fouls or having two different criteria for the two different teams. I'm hoping that's not the case. I just want the referee to call this match as it happens down the middle, call what happens. Hopefully VAR is not another issue. And I hope the situations are not that close this time. I hope everything is clear. I hope we get a free-flowing football match. Sporting have nothing to play for other than to beat us, but they're playing for, I guess they do. They have their undefeated season to play for, and we are playing to prevent them from going undefeated. And this is, again, just like in the Porto match, this is a rivalry match. This is a derby. Throw the records out, throw the table out. None of that matters. Okay, for these 90 minutes, it's Benfica versus Sporting, the eternal rivals. Okay, a club that has wiped the floor with us in every sport all season. This team, these players need to come out with pride today. They need to know that the supporters are behind them and they are not against them, but against Vieira. The club does its best to turn this into a fans versus players situation. That is not the case. The fans are behind the players. I believe that 100%. Okay, and I'm pulling for Benfica today, obviously, as I always am. But I think this is a match. This match is ripe for us to take, and here's why: Sporting had a late night in the middle of the week. They celebrated their championship. Okay, that interferes in the training schedule, more so the recovery than the training. The training at this point of the season is literally just recovery. Okay, we see some changes in Sporting's lineup. So Ruben's got a few guys that he's keeping on the bench, notably João Painha. But I really think Benfica can put together a good match today. Listen, Sporting's numbers don't lie, but they have struggled for weeks now. They have won by the skin of their teeth for a couple of weeks, more than a couple of weeks now. We're going on like 2 months of just close victories. Okay, Tarapt comes into the 11. Rafa is out. It'd be interesting to see. Okay, Tarapt had a good 30 minutes against Porto. I don't know what he's got from the start. I'm always nervous about him from the start because I think he doesn't play in a natural state. He plays overthinking and worrying about his fitness, worrying about gassing out, worrying about other things. It'll be very, very interesting to see how this goes. Of course, again, we cannot put ourselves in a situation where our midfield is overrun. Okay, there's a reason we play with a 3-5-2. It should protect our midfield more. It should allow us 3 central midfielders and 3 central defenders. We don't really seem to play it that way, but that's how it should play out. Of course, they're going to play the same thing, and we got to watch the left side of the pitch. I say the same thing every match. Okay, Grimaldo defending one-on-one is a nightmare. It is a complete nightmare. Okay, and I'm sure you're going to see the likes of Pot and the likes of, I'm going to bring up their lineup again, the likes of, Pot is going to play on the right side. Mateus Luiz on the right side. They're going to try to exploit our left side, that gap between Vertonghen and between Grimaldo. We can't get too far ahead of ourselves, okay? I think the first 15 minutes can be crucial. I think that Grimaldo has to not leave us too exposed. We can't just keep going forward all the time, okay? That space has to be filled, okay? We don't have the pace in the back three, so we cannot leave the flanks so widely exposed. We did that too much against Porto. Many times we got back and we covered and we played the cross as well, but we saw in the goal, okay, and how players just weren't on the same page, and as far as one-on-one defending, we have to contain. We cannot stab in. Okay, we cannot allow them to get forward with their outsides. We can't let Nuno Mendes start getting forward on us. Okay, the battle between Nuno Mendes and Diogo Gonçalves could be epic today. I think it could be the most interesting part of the match is those two guys going at it down our right and their left. Okay, both wingbacks, both very good going forward, both reasonably decent defensively. We cannot get beat on the dribble, though. I'm very nervous because Porto laid out the blueprint, okay, and the flaw in our system, and every system has flaws. Every system has gaps and has spaces to be exploited. And Porto, with little João Mario, completely showed everybody where the goal is going to come from against our 3-5-2, and that is on the dribble, gaining the end line or close to it, and then playing the ball on the ground backwards to the late coming runners. Our midfielders need to be more aware. And I do think with Weigl in there, and hopefully he stays out of the book. And honestly, if I'm Jorge Jesus and Weigl gets booked, leave him in there. Leave him in there. I'd rather he gets sent off again 10 minutes later than him coming off and Gabriel trying to fill that void for 20 or 25, 30 minutes. Okay, you have to keep him in there. Okay, he has to understand that once he's on a yellow card, and I feel like he's going to be on a yellow card. If I was doing betting advice in this match, one of the first things I would give you guys to put your money on is that Weigl will see a yellow card because every time he commits a foul, it's a yellow card. Otamendi also, he gets yellow cards for just about any ticky-tack foul. So we do have to be careful with that, okay? We have to be aware of where we are, aware of where our teammates are. A lot of times we're not, okay? And we have to take care of the ball when we have it. I'm not saying I don't want us possessing 65% of the time like a lot of people want to see because I don't think we're very good at attacking that way. What happens when we have a whole boatload of possession is we get to the attacking third and then we run out of ideas. And what happens when we possess for too much is it becomes a very, very slow process and the ball starts moving very slowly from the right to the center, to the left center, to the left. Swing it back around. Okay, let's give it to Weigl. Back to the center backs, back to the goalkeeper, hoping they come out and then we try again. Okay, I don't want to see a lot of that. So I'm okay with ceding possession once again. I know we're playing at home, but in this era of empty stadiums, there's very little difference between home and away. Okay, and I'm okay with us keeping the game in front of us, keeping the match in front of us, holding our lines in the same places. I can pull out the board again. Okay, we can't play too high of a line. Okay, I've got our 3-5-1 there, but we can't play too high of a line, so we don't have the pace to recover. So again, I want to see a line of confrontation just outside a defensive line holding right about here with Elton late kind of ready to come up and get all of this and get all of this. Okay. I want to see a line of confrontation right about here. Okay. And I don't necessarily want to see our strikers pressing high because I think Sporting are good enough to pass out of that and will be left exposed. So you can see right here as I put it up, this space in here, this is where I want, if Sporting have the ball, them to be playing, not in back here. They're going to try again to go in behind Grimaldo. He's got to get back and line up with these. Yes, that means playing with 5 across the back. And yes, I know everybody hates that. But if we want to get a result today, if this is about a result, we have to do what gives us the best opportunity to win. And that's not to have the ball all game and think that we're going to suddenly start passing like the Brazil 82 national team. Okay, we're not going to be able to do that. We don't have that kind of team. We struggle to make simple passes. We watch and count how many times we connect consecutive passes. It's not many. Okay, so I don't even want to see us having risks. I don't want to see goal kicks too many times coming in here unless Sporting's line of confrontations way back here. Okay, I want to see us being intelligent. I want to see us playing with awareness and with vision. Okay, and every player today has an opportunity to make a name for himself once again. Okay, Everton delivered against Porto. He delivered again, and Darwin delivered even more so against Nacional. I'm looking forward to Darwin coming into the match and Gonçalo Ramos. JJ, please, you have to put those two together. or after 60 minutes, maybe at 65, one and then the other. Don't make both well, you can, but I don't really want to see both of them substituted at the time. I just got alert. Juventus 2, Inter 1. So, um, Juventus beats Inter, just if anybody cares. It just concluded. But I don't want to see these mass substitutions. That changes too many things in the lineup. I know you have 5 substitutions. There's no requirement to use 5. Okay? Or if you're going to make more than one substitution, I would rather you do it at halftime where you have time to talk it out with everybody involved. You bring on too many players at once and confusion starts to set in. We saw that against Porto. 2 guys came in at once. The marking fell apart. Okay, they were unsure of what their zone or their man was. Okay, and it led to Tarap stepping too far wide, getting beat on a dribble, and we don't ever want him defending a one-on-one dribble, to defend a cross. I want him in the middle of the park. I want him protecting that second line in front of the back 3. Same goes for Pizzi, same for Weigl, and whoever comes in. Okay, I don't want, like Gabriel was on that goal, him lining up behind the back 3. Okay, leaving more space for their midfield players. All right. They have a lot of talent on the bench. A lot of their talent is on the bench. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Tiago Tomás, excuse me. Yeah, he's not in the starting 11. So Tiago Tomás is not even on the bench today. He's not. Tiago Tomás is not on the bench today. So he hurt us last time. He's got some pace, and anyone that has pace hurts us. But their front two of Pot and Paulinho will give us trouble. We have to communicate. Elton back there has to be loud. And put this here, and there you see right there, Gonçalo and Darwin off the bench is deadly. I agree. I'm looking forward to that, especially. I'm also interested to see if when Darwin comes off the bench, if Ruben makes a change defensively and goes to 4 in the back. Because if he plays a 3 and his right back, João Pereira in this case, who's not, doesn't have much pace, gets too far forward, I'm going to love that because Darwin can get into that space like he's been doing. And he can run at the back 3 and then wait for the trailer to come in. He can shoot, but I'm okay with him. His confidence is low. You can see that. I'm okay with him finding the late arriving run like he did in the goal that ended up being called back. Okay. We have to get forward when the time is right, and we have to get bodies forward. We have to be smart about when we go forward and when we stay sound, positionally. We have to get Pizzi in the final third. That's the only place that he can give us quality. Okay, he's not obviously a good positional central defender. He's not a box to box. We've been trying to make him into that for 3, 4, maybe even 5 seasons now. But in behind the striker, he's very good because he can deliver the pass and he can finish well. He's still our highest, in terms of finishing, he is the highest efficiency we have at the front. And I would really like to see him get some opportunities here. Also, another big in from Everton. I'm hoping he was just called in to the Brazilian national team for World Cup qualifiers. And this is what I said in the last episode of the podcast. I hoped wouldn't happen because I think he needs to shut down for the season after the Cup final. But it looks like he's going to play in World Cup qualifiers and in the Copa America, which means he's going to come back late from preseason, which means he's going to have little time to get up to speed for the Champions League preliminary stages. That's my very selfish opinion from a Benfica perspective, but he's just hitting his form now at the end of the season, and hopefully he has another big game because he can do things that other guys can't off the dribble. Without Rafa's pace in there, you don't have Rafa with pace. Darwin is your guy to run at people now. He is the guy we have that can like say Equilibrada. Okay, I apologize for stumbling on that. He can break the equilibrium of the other team. He can break the lines, as we say. You got Tarap too, who can bring something, depending what Tarap we get today. I'd be fine with Tarap giving me 45 solid minutes in the first half and being subbed off at halftime. If he gives us what he gave us against Porto, I'm going to be happy with that. Okay, with that will remain to be seen. Now, Seferovic, if this is the day he finally starts to finish, heck, we're going to win. Like, honestly, all season, if he finishes his opportunities, we win. As bad as we've played and as bad as we've looked, at the end of the day, our dropped points, almost all of them come down to failed opportunities. So we're going to create the opportunities. I fully believe that, and I think we're going to have the opportunity to get forward on the counter. I think Sporting are going to give us that opportunity because I think they're coming out to win. Ruben plays that way. Ruben Amorim does not play any other way. As the players are now approaching the tunnel, so I guess it's time to start wrapping up. Um, I, I'm hopeful for this game. Okay, I am hopeful for this game. We need a big win. We need some momentum. We got the Taça final right around the corner. We're going to Guimarães Wednesday, and that closes the season, guys. We're closing the season on a Wednesday at Guimarães. That's a tough game. But this is the final match at home for the season, and I believe the anthem is playing now, the Benfica anthem. Ruben and Jorge Jesus are enjoying a warm embrace right now. Jorge Jesus. Someone's saying something to both of them, which was funny. They're both laughing, but Jorge Jesus pointed to Ruben and then he went like this, number one, and then he said me 3 times. So that's interesting. That is very interesting. Or maybe he said together they were 3. I think he said together they were champions 3 times. The substitutes are out on the pitch now. They're heading to the bench. JJ in the vest again, not in the jacket and tie. I don't know. I don't like this version of JJ we got this season. I'm hoping that next season we get the JJ that was at Flamengo last year and the JJ that we've seen in the past. He's not going anywhere. We'll see what happens with Vieira, but my gut is that he'll ride this out like he always does, and he'll find a way to stay on. And they'll make some kind of splash or they'll do something to divert attention. But Benfica have everything to win this match. They have everything there, okay? And it's not going to take a perfect performance. We saw that against Porto. It doesn't take a perfect performance. It's going to take making the most of your opportunities because we will create more than them. I do believe that. And the 2 teams are now walking out. So it's time to sign off, but I think we're going to create more opportunities than they are, and it's going to come down to whether or not we finish. And if Gonçalo Ramos comes on, he's going to score. All right, so you can put some betting money on that too. Darwin will set up Gonçalo for the winning goal today. All right, Viva Benfica, Carrega Benfica, Força Benfica, Rua Vieira. Let's go Benfica. I'll see you guys on the podcast probably later in the week, okay? Enjoy the match, everybody. This is the Mr. Mike Agustinho signing off. You see my handle there at Benfica Mister. Thank you for watching on MrBenfica.com, on the Mr. Benfica YouTube page, on Twitter, and on my Facebook page. Thank you, everybody. This was a blast. Enjoy the match. Vamos, Benfica.